All right, for today's deep dive, we are tackling the history of arthroplasty. That's joint replacement.
Yep.
And our mission here is to trace how this idea, which honestly sounded like science fiction over a century ago, became this, industry-changing procedure.
And it's really a story that's all about material science. I mean, it's defined by this constant cycle of failure, then innovation, then another failure. We're going to follow the material.
Okay, let's unpack this timeline. So
Sure.
where does this all even begin? We're talking late 1800s, right?
Oh, 1891 with Themistocles Gluck. He was seeing patients whose hips were just destroyed by things like tuberculosis.
And he had this radical idea.
A radical idea. He tried to replace the femoral head, the ball of the hip joint, with ivory.
Ivory, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it failed. Of course it failed. But the concept, the idea of replacing the whole component, that was now on the table.
So that idea then carries forward into the 1920s with Smith-Peterson. But he tried a different approach.
He did. He moved to what's called mold arthroplasty. So basically just putting a cup over the joint, and his material of choice was glass.
Glass in a hip joint. I mean, I can see where this is going.
You can. It was biocompatible, sure, but it couldn't handle the load, the stress, and it shattered. So back to the drawing board.
So after glass literally shatters everyone's hopes, metal has to be the next logical step. More durability.
Exactly. The 1930s and 40s, that's the age of stainless steel. You have figures like Austin T. Moore around 1939, and he really establishes hemiarthroplasty.
Okay, so hemi, meaning just half the joint.
Just half, replacing only the femoral head. It was this crucial stepping stone that proved that, yes, metal implants could actually work in the body before they tried replacing the whole thing.
Which brings us to the big one. The 1960s. Sir John Charnley. This is where everything changes.
This is the turning point. Charnley is the one who standardizes the modern, low-friction, total hip replacement.
So what was his aha
Yeah.
moment? What was the secret sauce that finally made it work long-term?
Well, the key is that it wasn't one thing. It was a system. It was the combination of three elements.
Okay.
First, you have a metal femoral stem. Second, a polyethylene cup for the socket. And third, and this was crucial, acrylic bone cement, PMMA.
So bone cement, you mean he was literally gluing the implant in place?
Essentially, yes. It was like a surgical grout. It locked everything securely to the bone. Now, that did create its own set of problems with particles and loosening down the line.
Right.
But the immediate success was undeniable. And what Charnley also did, which was brilliant, was innovate the system. He created these clean air enclosures, his greenhouse, to just slash infection rates, which had plagued all the earlier attempts.
So once the hip is sort of solved, the field just explodes, right? They start looking at other joints.
Immediately. The knee comes next in the 1970s. But it's a hinge joint, so it's a completely different mechanical problem. That's when we see the condylar knee replacements become standard.
And then the shoulder.
Yeah.
Which I hear was an even tougher nut to crack.
Yeah. Oh, the shoulder was a real puzzle. And the reason was the rotator cuff. If that tendon system was damaged, any standard replacement would just become unstable and fail.
So how do they solve that?
A surgeon named Paul Graham in 1985 came up with this incredible reverse design. He literally flipped the joint. He put the ball on the shoulder blade and the cup on the arm bone. He reversed it. And this amazing trick of biomechanics allowed the big, powerful deltoid muscle to take over for the non-working rotator cuff.
That's genius. So now we have working designs, but the real enemy becomes time. The wear and tear.
Precisely. The enemy was wear. Those original polyethylene cups would shed tiny particles. And the body's immune response to those particles would actually dissolve the bone around the implant. It's a process called osteolysis.
So your own body starts attacking the implant.
And the bone holding it. It was like a 10 or 15-year death sentence for these joints. The breakthrough came around 1998 with highly cross-linked polyethylene, or HXLPE. It just drastically cut down on those wear particles.
So bitter materials gave us longevity, and then technology gave us precision.
That's the modern story. The 90s brought computer-assisted surgery, and that quickly evolved into robot-assisted joint replacement.
And the goal there isn't to replace the surgeon, right?
Not at all. It's all about reproducibility. It's about ensuring the surgical plan is executed with perfect alignment every single time.
What an incredible journey. I mean, from using ivory and glass to HXLPE and robotic arms. It's just a masterclass in iterative design.
It really is. And it shows that success wasn't just about finding the right material. It was about controlling the environment, ensuring precision, and engineering the entire system.
So we've seen these totally different design approaches for the hip, the knee, and the shoulder. That leaves a final thought for you to mull over. What really stands out about the challenge of making a hinge joint, like the knee, move, versus managing the freeform rotation of a ball and socket like the hip? We'll see you on the next deep dive.